It's a true story. It happened to a man in England. His name was Damien Lowe. Now, Damien Lowe just had walked out onto his street like any normal day, getting ready to go to work or run errands or something, and he's standing there on the street, and a white van speeds up and pulls right in front of him. 6 or 8 goons get out, grab him, throw him in the van, and they speed off. They've kidnapped Damien Lowe. They then send a message to his family. We've got Damien, and you need to come up by the end of the day with $60,000. All right? Well, like any hardworking middle-class family, you're not going to be able to just pull $60,000 out of thin air. So they didn't have the money. So what they did is they cut off one of Damien's fingers, and they sent it to the family to show them how serious they were. Now, here's the caveat. They let Damien pick which finger to cut off. So they said, listen, your family hasn't responded. We're going to cut one of your fingers off, but, I guess we're gracious goons. We're going to let you pick which finger you want to be cut off. Now, this whole ordeal happened within a matter of just hours, so they didn't give him time to think about it, all right? So I'm going to ask you a question, all right? Put yourself in his shoes, all right? You leave church here. You're rolling up to Longhorn to beat the Baptist to the steakhouse, right? And a van grabs you, kidnaps you, and they're going to cut one of your fingers off, and you have to pick which finger to cut off. Which one would you pick? I'm going to give you 3 seconds to think about it, all right? All right. How many of you said, I'll cut my pinky off? Pinky. Small, insignificant, I don't need this little thing, right? Okay. How many of you said, no, I think I'll cut my ring finger off? A couple of you? All right. Now, I'm not going to flip you off, but how many of you pick the middle finger, right? The middle finger, right? We could probably do without middle fingers in this world, especially when we're driving. All right, so anyway, all right, how many of you say the pointer finger here, this one? All right, how about your thumb? How about your thumb? Okay. Now, here's what's interesting. Hold that for just a second. Hand surgeons will tell you unequivocally there's one right answer. There's 4 absolute wrong answers, and if you are going to have a finger cut off, there is a definite right answer. In other words, if you ask hand surgeons, 100% they're going to tell you to cut off the exact same finger. So, show of hands again. How many of you said pinky? Pinky. All right, you would think pinky. No, that's one of the last fingers you want to lose. Did you know that 80% of your hand strength to grip things is because of your pinky, because of this ligament that runs here? Without a pinky, you can barely pick things up. So don't cut your pinky off. How many of you said ring finger? Ring finger. A couple of you? All right, so here's the thing about the ring finger. Surgeons will tell you that the ring finger has this ligament that attaches the ring and the middle finger together. So if you cut the ring finger off, the middle finger loses a lot of mobility. You can barely use the middle finger. So you're actually losing 2 fingers for the price of 1, if that makes sense. Okay, how many of you said middle finger? All right, same problem with the middle finger, right? If you cut the middle finger off, the ring finger doesn't work because they're attached with the same ligament, so you're getting 2 for the price of 1. Now, did anybody say your thumb? No, we're not crazy, right? Because if you don't have a thumb, you don't have a hand, right? Because your thumb is the only finger that you can touch all your fingers with. You just have a nub with 4 things. You can't really grab things. So thumb is the wrong answer. The right answer, 100% of the time, according to hand surgeons, is if you are in a van, kidnapped, and your kidnappers say you've got to lose 1 finger, and they give you the option, always pick the pointer finger. Always pick this finger. This is the finger that you can do without. And friends, I think this is the finger that the church can do without. We have to stop constantly pointing our fingers at people saying, you're not worthy to come in here. You're not ready to accept Christ. You need to fix yourself up first. You're broken. You should feel terrible about yourself. You should just sit here and think about what you did. You've made Jesus very upset, and God is very angry, and I don't know if anything's ever going to change, right? We don't need those type of Christians. Instead, we take this finger and we stop pointing at people people and we point them to Jesus and we say, listen, I was broken like you. I understand. I have been there. What you need to do is you need to take your stuff to Him because He's got restoration. He's got salvation. He's got all the joy and all the hope and all the peace that you could ever want. So stop pointing at them and start pointing to Jesus because that's what Jesus commanded us to do.